Mhm. Hmm. It always has been. I mean, you'll probably blow it anyway. Hey, what's up, Alfred? What's up? What's up? Hey, what's up, Investor Z? Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Huh? Hmm. Yeah, well, our baby gold is definitely in an uptrend. She's definitely in an uptrend. That's for sure. But I did take the short though. I am in this short. Mm. So I was in this account. I mean, I was in this position since last night, since open. I will say that the market is really good at when you're not in the move. It's really good at finding a way to push up 500 points for no reason when you're not in it. But then when you finally catch the bottom, thinking that you're going to be a part of one of those 500 plus or 500 point plus move, it finds a way to always try to pull back. The market doesn't like it when everybody is in the same move, apparently. So probably at the peak of this, I was probably up on 3 mini contracts. The highs was what, 62. So at the height of this position, it was up $6,400. So I've lost half the value of these 3 mini contracts. It lost half of its value. Always finds a way, I swear. But uh, as I came back to my desk I mean, if you was with me last night, you saw that crazy move that gold made last night. Add an insult to injury. I even tried to take in a short at the trend line. I got stopped out. Then it came back to the trend line, used it as resistance, and shorted. Gold, I don't know, man. Gold has definitely been, for whatever reason today, Gold is making sure that she's trying to remind me that she is also crazy. It's not always sunshine, rainbows, and gumdrops. Apparently, she gets crazy too. Just to kind of recap, last night I was trying to be cute and thought that initially my thought was that price was going to pull back to 89. That was my initial thought. But then I saw this low looking right on the chart, and I thought to myself, let me front run this level. And because I'm pretty sure that the market is going to probably want to bounce at this low first, probably get a retest, and then short down to this level. So I tried to be cute. And then apparently, I wasn't the only one thinking that. Apparently. Because if you look at the price action, I guess other market participants had the same idea. And you can just see their stops getting used to fuel the market down to the original level that we talked about. And from this level, we got about a 30, 40 actually. So actually, let's count that. So that was like at 89. The high of this move is around about like what, 418? So from 418 minus 389. So gold traded 29 points in one direction. That is literally, well, it's not abnormal, but that is kind of abnormal price action for gold going up this way. She usually falls that way because gravity is gravity, but she literally levitated from the lows to the highs. We usually get the crashes on the short side, but if it does go up higher, we usually get price action and we usually get a stop run higher. But she literally levitated, went to heaven. And I guess she wanted to visit the account that I blew last night. It literally hit the lows. I hit the maximum daily drawdown in my Apex account. As soon as she saw that my account was completely blown, then she adds insult to injury, hits my first, second, and third target with no pullback. With no pullback. So excuse me if I feel attacked by gold, but I guess it is what it is, right? I should have stuck with my initial thesis. And if I stuck with my initial thesis, then I would have been a part of that levitation. Instead of going down, instead of my account going to heaven, my profits would have went to heaven. So I guess that's a lessons learned. I did make a contract with myself, actually. I told myself that if I were to blow this Apex account moving forward, I had to write a trade report. Over the weekend, possibly probably over the weekend. Actually, I have no choice. Over the weekend, I will come up with a trade plan template, a trade report. I have to write a trade report before every trade. I can't just jump into a trade. I have to justify the trade. I have to basically convince the risk managers in the chat that this is a good trade to take. This is going to cut down on impulsive trades. This is going to allow me to analyze the chart. And this is what I was trying to avoid this whole time, because it would kind of make this into not a hobby, but a job. But at the same time, because I have a competitive spirit and a winning mindset, I don't like losing. And for whatever reason, I've been losing for the last 2 months. I haven't been able to get back on track. So now extreme measures are being taken, and this is what I have to do. These are the measures that I have to take to get back on track. So starting next week, like I said, I'll share that trade report on stream. We will go over the trade plan, make sure that it is valid, and we will set the limits. We will set our stop, and we will let the trade play out. And then I have to write an after trade report. What happened? What was the price action? All that stuff. Basically, it's going to be a living journal, but we're just going to call it a trade report. And we'll just move forward from there. We're going to have proper sizing, no more oversizing. If I take a loss, I have to, I will give myself a follow-up trade, but it can't be in the same position. I would have to place a limit at the next level of support or the next level of resistance, depending on what side of the market I'm trading on. That has to that actually has to be in the trade report itself. So if I take a loss, the backup trade will already be placed on the chart. And if both of those trades lose, I will have one more opportunity to make some of my money back. 3 trades, 3 losing trades, then I'm out. If I blow another account, then I will downsize. I will trade with less size. Apparently, without these restrictions on myself, I guess I've been kind of teaching myself through my habits, through my actions, that blowing accounts don't matter. So we're going to correct that behavior. We're going to correct that shit. So the reason why I took this trade was because it was around R2. And my strategy focuses around 3 separate things. The first thing I look at is market structure. I want to see where market participants have already executed their trades. That's the first thing that I look at. I look for ranges, and I use Fibonacci's for the entry. My rule with the Fibonacci is I'm going to take the closest Fibonacci to the closest to structure. I'm not going to just draw fibs on the chart and take a trade. What I do is that's like the last thing. That's just the confluence, the conviction. Like, okay, there's a fib there. This is where I'm going to get in. And I'm just going to let the trade play out. That has been working. What hasn't been working is me randomly jumping in the trades because I want to make more money when I deviate from my plan. So over the past week, that's where my losing trades have come from. And those losing trades, for whatever reason, turn to big losers that eventually blows the account. So let me rephrase that. Now that I have this trade report, those trades should happen a lot less. It should. And I'm going to make sure that I'm not making stuff up to take a trade. I really have to justify taking a trade as if a risk manager is going to read my report and okay the trade. Like I said, I only got like 2 or 3 more years left. All right, so let's see if we want to get this trend line break. It's highly likely that it's going to probably bounce at that value area high right here. It's highly likely that we'll see a bounce here. Oops. It's highly likely that we could see a bounce. It's highly likely that they could bounce it off of this trend line right here. So I am paying attention to that trend line. What I should have done was probably take some profits at this trend line, but because I'm in the sim, I'm just going to allow the trade to play out. I'm no longer trading an account this week, so I'm going to have to come back next week with an account. I'm not going to get into the habit of when I blow an account, I'm going to reset the account and blah, 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 blah. I'm going to just start holding myself accountable for these trades moving forward. If I blow an account, that means I need to get back in the sim. And I'm going to structure this. I'm going to structure my account buying habits more strictly as well. Because I think the biggest part of why I take the impulse trades, or how I convince myself to take these impulse trades, is because in the back of my mind, I know that buy another account or get a reset or something like that. And I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to waste my time and my money. So if there is a process running internally in me that wants to waste my time, well, it's not going to also waste my money. So those are the changes that I will be implementing moving forward starting next week. I do plan on getting a another MFF account. I do plan on getting another one. I believe my a couple of my Tradeify accounts rebuilds, and when those rebuild, we'll just start trading those. And those are the 50K accounts. So that means I would have to actually reduce my size. Actually, probably I would have to reduce my size to about probably back to an 18. Yeah, 18 probably. I mean, we can rock with one contract on the smaller accounts. We can do that. But it's going to probably get to the point to where I start trading these accounts as if they're small accounts and build these accounts over time. I think a lot of my Apex accounts might also rebuild. All right, so that issue is resolved. All right. So I do have some Tradeify accounts that's going to be rebuilt. I should have paid attention to. Hey, what's up, Santiago? What's up, Santiago? Yeah, I don't know if you missed it, but there's going to definitely be some changes. We're definitely going to get very professional on this stream moving forward. Very professional on this stream. And you know, this is kind of crazy, but it's literally happening. For whatever reason, me and Smith, for whatever reason, we tend to do things at the same time, even if we're not communicating. And what I mean by that is, you know, when he takes a break from the charts and he's kind of rediscovering what kind of a trader that he wants to be, he takes his time to himself to kind of recoup and regather himself. And that's what I mean by that. So we uh, don't know if you know, but Smith is now a Forex bro. He's graduated from being a futures degen to a full-fledged Forex degen. But here's the crazy thing. I moved on from Nasdaq. He's moved on from Nasdaq. And we did that literally at the same time. We didn't even talk about it. That's what's so crazy. We didn't even talk about it. It was like, yeah, I don't want to trade the Nasdaq anymore. And it's like, shit, I don't want to trade her either. I don't want to trade her anymore. And it's crazy that now, since we're not trading the Nasdaq, getting that adrenaline and cortisol dump on a daily basis, going to other instruments, we've both become very patient in waiting for trade setups. It's funny how that happens. We both wait for trade setups on different instruments, but for whatever reason, we just choose not to do it on Nasdaq. Just choose not to do it. He's trading, I forgot what it is. Euro USD, or is the Australian dollar versus the United States dollar? He's been taking some really great trades, waiting for the setups, and he's been sending screenshots of his P&L. Really great trades that he's been taking. And we've transitioned to gold, and aside from a few hiccups, we've been making a lot of money in gold. Shit, at the beginning of this week, we made 15K. I made 2K off stream, 4K off stream, and we made 9K on stream trading gold. So gold, there's a lot of possibility here on gold, man. While the ES and Nasdaq is being senior citizens as usual. I mean, I've been in this position all damn night, and it hasn't gone anywhere. I mean, I'm pretty sure we can see a continuation. We have a bullish move. We have a bullish move into a trading range, so we should expect another move. We have a rally, we have a base, and we should expect another rally. We'll see what happens though. He's trading his own account. He started a small $1,000 account, and on Forex, yeah, apparently they don't play. You don't got the money, you can't take the trade. And something else that's very interesting, there's no average entry in Forex apparently. I think he said forex.com. I would have to actually look back at our messages and confirm, but I think he said forex.com. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure. It was like you start in the position in the red, and you have to work your way to break even. That is crazy. You have to work your way to break even before you start making some profits because of the spreads. But there is no average entry in Forex. So I never understood why in Forex you would see that they have like 10 positions. They would have like 10 positions and they would all have their own P&L. And I never got that until Smith explained that. Let's just say that I get in right here, and then I get into another position right here, and then I get into another position right here as price continues to move up. Well, every position is its own independent position. It's its own independent position. So if we get a wild move that increases the spreads, depending on where your entry is, the broker will probably close these two, and you'll probably still have this one open. If that makes sense. Every trade is its own independent trade. There is no average entry. Yeah. Oh, I'm not sure. I'm still a futures guy. I'm not a Forex bro yet. But let's look at that. Let's look. I mean, shit. It's not like the NQ is doing or the ES is doing anything. And the and the Nasdaq is, trading like a senior citizen. So I mean, it's not like they're doing anything. Gold is, oh, there we go. We got a break of that trend line. There we go, baby. There we go. First target. First target. There we go. Hit that second target, baby. Come on. There we go. Hit that damn second target. Hold on. Why did my stop come down? Oh, yeah, I forgot. I don't have a stop on this one. I don't have a trailing stop on this one. Okay. There we go. Beautiful play on gold. Beautiful play on gold. This is why I really enjoy trading gold. Really enjoy trading gold. This will definitely be really enjoy trading gold. All right, so that's actually something that I probably have to do. Is Golden Shower already something on? I mean, let me make sure, because I think maybe Golden Shower is already. I think that's already a. Okay, so yeah, it's already one. All right, so I'm gonna have to make a new one. Gold member. We create a strategy. So I think the profit target is what, 93. So uh all right, so stop. I'll have it nine ticks behind. Profit target 90. Frequency 1. Save as. I love gold. There you go. All right. Save as template. Save. Okay. Save. All right. All right. So that's cool. All right. So that was a great trade. Great trade. That was a great trade. I may be overstaying my welcome in this long, but we'll see. So let's see. Forex.com. Let's see. So it's Forex.com. You said it's an A or B book? Is Forex.com an A or B book? Okay. All right. All right. So apparently Forex.com is a B book. So Forex primarily operates as a market maker or a B book for most retail clients, but also offers A book, whatever this means, executions for certain account types in high volume or professional traders. This means Forex.com uses a hybrid model that combines both A and B book orders executions depending on the client profile and the account type. All right. And so to kind of clarify, so B book is the market maker. All right, there we go. Hmm. So if I'm gonna probably have a more professional outlook, or shit, where's my? So yeah. So my report is gonna be something, at this time I placed a limit at level in this instance 3 4 15 because there were confluence between market structure, a Camarilla pivot, and a fib level. And the fib level doesn't matter. As long as there's a fib level near the level that I'm looking at, I'm taking it because I'm already going to take the trade anyway. The fib level only acts as an entry. That's the only reason for that fib level. There's nothing special about it. I'm taking the trade because of the structure. I'm taking the fib level as my entry. Um, so at this time, I placed a limit at 34.15 because there was confluence between market structure, a Camarilla pivot, and a fib level. Uh, Maybe if I structure this so if I'm wrong, I'll place a limit at the next level of supply. So this is just a like a draft. This would kind of be more specific, but if I'm wrong, as an example, let's just say that if I was wrong here, the next level will probably be, as an example, 427. Yeah, like right here, 429, 427. So, like as an example, if I'm wrong, I'll place a limit at or as an example, 429 maybe, yeah, 429. And this is just an example because it's the next level of supply. Kind of, this is an example. I have to write my confidence of this trade. Like, what is your confidence level? And I have to justify if it's below zero, if it's below a 50% trade, I have to justify why I'm taking it. So justify the trade if it's below a 50% confidence level. So if it's a 50%, and then I have to write, why do I believe that it's a, so as an example, if I say that this trade is a 80% winner, says why do I believe that it's an 80%? Justify. Actually, you know what? No. Let's just do this. Let's just make a rule that if it's below 50%, we're not even gonna take the trade. Why do I need to justify that shit? I mean, that's kind of stupid. A rule. Trades below a 50% confidence level will be omitted. And this is actually not a rule, but this is per policy. So this is actually a policy, trade policy right here. Trade policy. Trades below a 50% confidence level will be omitted. Justify why I believe the trade has, or so justify why I believe the trade has an 80% chance of being a winner. And then I need to have a post-trade report, post-trade actions, kind of go over the trade, what actually happened, what happened, how close was it to your thesis? And some takeaways. What did you do right? And as I do this, I recall that earlier on, I did something very similar to this. And for some reason, I stopped doing it, even though it was working. I believe the reason why I stopped doing it was because it was too much accountability and I couldn't gamble the way that I wanted to gamble without holding myself to account. I will be the first to say that even though I don't necessarily care to journal, or I don't necessarily like the idea of dictating when and when I cannot take a trade, when I've done this, the results, I believe I got my first payout with, I forgot, whatever, was it Top Step at the time? Doing this, it was either Top Step, U Profit. It was either U Profit or Top Step at that time when I did this, because I was only trading Apex, U Profit, and Top Step at the time. So I forgot which prop firm it was, but doing this actually got me to a payout, my first payout with that firm. So it had to have been Top Step. Yeah, it had to have been Top Step. And I got into their 5,000, or yeah, it's a $5,000 club with them, and got the hat and the pin with Top Step just by holding myself accountable. And then I stopped doing it because it wasn't fun, and I wasn't able to I wasn't able to gamble the way I wanted to gamble. So it goes to show that uh, trading is all about accountability, apparently. Says he played the orb breakout again today, added size today, and got, yeah, congratulations. Hold on, they had a breakout? They had a breakdown? Or are you talking about gold? You talking about gold? MNQ? And she broke down? When did she do that? Uh, you hold on, MNQ broke down? Oh, okay. Or hold on, when did she do that? Oh, okay. I see what you did. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Dang. So Alfred, how do you so how many points are you looking for? Because shit, that breakdown of that orb, shit, that was tight. That was super tight. That was a 20-point drop underneath that orb, just about 20 points. All right, so it bottomed out at 980. You got the break of that orb at about 997. So that was like an 18-point move. Oh, the break up. Oh, okay, breakout. Okay. Yeah, okay, that was my bad. My bad. I don't know why I saw breakdown. I'm about to say, I was like, dude, shit, that's crazy. Congratulations. But yeah, that was crazy. But yeah. So what is your success rate on that orb strategy, Alfred? I know that you've grown your account to a significant amount. Well, there we go. Beautiful trade, man. That was a beautiful trade. Beautiful gold trade. Beautiful gold trade, man. It doesn't get any better than that. It doesn't get any better than that. That was a beautiful gold trade right there. And that's why I really enjoy trading gold. I can trust the market structure. I can trust the market structure. I really enjoy trading gold. And it looks like the pivot points actually moved, because when I took this trade, R2 was actually up here. So yeah, I guess these levels move in real time. That's interesting. I guess I never really paid attention to these, but yeah, R2 was up here, and now it's kind of is near that trend line now. But yeah, beautiful trade, man. Beautiful trade on gold. I mean, I didn't need this whole move, but as long as I get that first and that second target hit, all the rest of the targets are just gravy, in my opinion. But we got that trend line break. You can see that if we actually just pay attention to the price action here, and that's another thing that I enjoy about gold. She, you can trade price action if you're paying attention for it, and if you're patient enough to let the trade play out. You have the bulls buying, or my bad, you have the bulls failing to buy and hold that trend line right here. They failed to hold the trend line. And because they failed to hold it, this is a stop run. And older traders, they know to sell into your pain, or to buy or sell into your pain. And that psychology is literally on this chart. You can see where the buyers fail. You can see where the sellers fail. And professional traders will sell and buy into your stops like this. This is a good example right here. You get that breakout, and these are sellers getting stopped out of their position because the sellers failed to hold that pullback. They failed to hold it. And so now the market used them as fuel to push this market higher. And look where they pull back to, the trend line. They pull back to the trend line. The buyers tried yet again to hold it, and then they failed. So everybody can get it. And this is what I was waiting for right here on gold. You get a breakout of gold, you get the pullback, and usually with that pullback, once you see that breakout, the bulls buy that pullback, and then you see another stop run going higher. So that's why yesterday it was kind of weird that what gold did what it did, because yeah, we had the market taking out a lot of, I guess, buy stop or sell stops, but it just kind of shot up and it never pulled back until it got to the next area of resistance up here. So, but I'm still holding strong in this position. I'm gonna take profits on this. I'm gonna take profits on this when price gets. I'll take my first TP at this trend line right here. This is where my first TP is coming off at. Actually, I have a better number right there. I'm taking my first profit off right there. %. I mean, trading is easy, man. Once you overcome that mental block, like once you overcome the mental blocks, man, life just becomes, or trading just becomes very interesting. So who sent this? Hold on, who sent this? Uh, Golded, Trader Golded. Okay. This is our boy Alfred just taking orb trades. Our guy has 33K in his account right now. Congratulations, Alfred. He got 33K in his account right now. Or hold on. Is that how much profits that you've had so far? Is that how much money that you've had so far? Yeah, gross profit. Okay. Yeah, well, congratulations on that, man. Yeah, lock that account up, man. I'm pretty sure you've already locked it up. Lock that shit up, man. Lock it up. Lock that shit up. Well, we're gonna ride this contract out. We're gonna ride this shit out. Bro, you know the question. You already know the question to that. You already know the question to that, or the answer to that. My bad. You already know the answer to that. You know you should lock your shit up right now, man. Power is for evals, not your funded account. I would feel like a complete ass if I blew my account, my funded account, trading power. An ass. You would have so much adrenaline and cortisol through your system, you would get emotionally hijacked. And if you lose any bit of that P&L, you're going to use all of your P&L to try to get it back. In my opinion, is not worth it. And I'm not just talking to Alfred. I'm just saying that in general. We all know the cycle. We get a big P&L, we lose $10 of it, and for whatever reason, our internal system thinks that it's a good idea to go tilt over $10 and risk $10 million to get our $10 back. For whatever reason, our internal system think that's a good idea, and that's exactly what it will do. So if you don't want to risk your $4,000 to get your $10 back, I will lock the account out for it. But it's your account. Yeah. But yeah, I'll take advantage of Tradeify. I got a couple of accounts at a 45% discount with Tradeify. So I have 150K that I got. I should have bought two, but probably should have bought two. But honestly, if I trade the way I'm supposed to, I only need about one. I just need one account if I trade the way I'm supposed to trade. But oh yeah, I need to see when they rebuild. Actually, I need to see when they rebuild. Actually, forgot. Oh yeah, so I showed this last night. So here I'm thinking that well, I mean I haven't been trading this account because I can't trade gold on it, so I'm not really interested in it. But here I'm thinking that well, if I probably trade it, I can probably get in the top 10. But yeah, look at that shit. For whatever reason, somebody, this guy Marcus, don't know what the hell he's doing or what the hell he's trading, but he's already up $177,000 and it's only Wednesday. Shit, he was up 147 yesterday and it was only Tuesday. I was like, dude, what the fuck? How are you up this much? How? How? It's only Tuesday. That means he made an average. Let's just do some average. Let's just ask the. Yeah, I don't care about that. Okay. Uh, so the trading day, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So he made 147,000. Hey, if you think I asked it, shit. I mean, I could have done the math. Okay, let me just do the math. Let me find a calculator. The hell? What it sounds like, dude. It's not that serious. All right, so I guess he has a strategy because yeah, he makes he makes about 50,000 dollars per trade. And because he's up about 40,000 right now. So apparently he must what he's probably doing is really making $40,000 a day. How do you make $40,000 a day with only 5 mini contracts? Hmm. I mean, you're only allowed to trade 5 mini contracts. How are you making that much a day? So even if you're trading the Nasdaq, so let's just say trading the Nasdaq. All right, so this thing is not doing the math right. Or maybe, oh, okay, I never asked. Okay, I was like, dude, that's not right. I never asked it the right, I didn't ask it the right question. The catch says, how many, trading the NQ with only, how many points do I need to make $50,000? I didn't ask it the question. Huh. So you need 500 points, full port, top to bottom to make 50K on 5 mini contracts. Has the Nasdaq moved 500 points? So I guess what he's been doing is probably getting in around the lows and getting out around the highs. I mean, if he full ported this right here, so if he was in top to bottom, because I think this was Sunday's open. Sunday's open was the 15th. So if he caught this bottom to top, full port, 2224 minus 21722. So that was about $500. So he would have to have caught the top from top to or the bottom to top to make $50,000 full port. Huh, how would he do? Hold on, how the hell did he do that? He literally would have to catch tops and bottoms every day. I mean, he's doing it, so I'm asking, how the hell is he doing it? I want to start doing shit like that too. Because yesterday, from top to bottom, it was only 269 points. Well, he must have been doing a whole lot of trading, I guess. Because I guess all you really need is 500 points a day, full port. Well, congratulations to Marcus, I guess. Hey, yo, what's up, young millionaire? Yeah, we had we had a beautiful gold trade this morning. We caught the top. I don't know if gold has continued to drop. Yep, it continued to drop, but we caught this leg right here. We got out at the value area low. The value area low is my last target, and it went down even further. So this was a great trade. Right now, we're still in that ES trade from last night. I got into this around the lows. I was willing to scale into this if it went down a little further. The reason why I got into this area right here was because if you look to the left, you can see that there's lows. I just chose this low right here, and it was the closest level to structure and a fib level. It just all lined up. And I think a Camarilla pivot was also in this area. Yeah, S3 was in this area. So that's how I'm taking these trades now. I mean, I just need a lot of confluence of why I'm taking the trade. We started a trade report. Right now, this is a rough draft of my trade report. I'm going to have this refined over the weekend, and we're going to start using this before we take a trade, where we already have our trades planned out. We have our follow-up trades planned out. And after, if plan A and plan B, if they both fail, then I will only have one more trade to take to make my money back. So it was a 3 strikes, you're out kind of strategy. I don't really take that many losing trades, but when I do take losing trades, what make them bigger than what they need to be is me moving my stop, or me adding to the position, or me just being foolish. So having a trade plan, looking at my thought process before and after the trade will kind of instill certain behaviors in, because I got to get back on track. Like I said, I haven't been on track for a while, and I just need to get back on track. But I'm taking my first profit target here at 93. I think we can get there. Is that this trend line? I think we can get this trend line. We might even see a rejection, honestly. I'm not going to sit here and say that we don't, but it would have been nice if she pulled back, and if I was in this thing with a full 45 contract position, it would have been nice. But I guess I'll just accept that I'm in it at all, instead of just kind of complaining that I didn't get a full size. Just be glad, because she could have been nasty and missed me by a tick like she usually likes to do, and then made this move higher, and then I would have to chase it. So but I'm hoping Powell pushes this thing higher. Hopefully. I saw this video. Trump is already looking for the next Fed chair. And the rumors are that he's looking for someone that's dovish, so which would align with his economic growth plan. All the Robin Hood degenerate babies, all we know is Powell. It's going to be weird having a different Fed chair other than Powell. It really would be. And the crazy thing is, Trump appointed Powell, so but he aligned himself with the Democratic Party, it seems like. I understand that officially he won't say these things, so I don't look for people to officially make statements. All I need to do is look at your actions and what you commit to. And his actions showed that he was more in line with the Democratic Party, even though they had plans on replacing him, but Biden kept him in. It's interesting that people like to remind you and like to make the statement that the Fed is its own independent entity. But the president can replace you when your term is up. So if you want to remain Fed chair because it is an indefinite term, you have to play politics. And Greenspan played that perfectly. Right now, he is the longest standing Fed chair that we've had. And I think the only reason why he gave it up is because he was just so old. He probably didn't want to do it anymore. But right now, he is the longest standing Fed chair. I mean, we got one more year with him, at least one more year. But this is politics. This is business. I think around the time when it's time to quote unquote kiss the ring, there's going to be deals made. I feel that Trump overall prefers to be a businessman and to do business and negotiate deals. I think that's his whole stick. If Powell comes to him and quote unquote kisses the ring, I'm pretty sure they can negotiate a deal for him to extend his term. under certain conditions that will be obviously held behind closed doors. At this point, that is unlikely to happen, but at the same time, we can't rule it out until it is official. It does appear that Trump and Powell previously had a conversation behind closed doors, and the details of that conversation has not been released. But we'll see what happens moving forward. Maybe Powell will start cutting rates slowly, gradually, helping Trump achieve his plan. And because his term, I believe, ends in March or May. I think it's May or March. Let me make sure. Let me ask. I think it's in March or maybe May. It's one of those months that starts with an M. All right, so it's May 15th, 2026. So we need to have that day on our calendars. He will still remain on the Fed board, but he just will no longer be the chair. Honestly, when you were once the king and you have to allow somebody else to sit on a throne that you once sat at, that's not a good feeling. It's one thing to say that I'm tired, or let me rephrase that. It's one thing to say that if he's tired of doing the job, it's one thing to say that he's tired. It's another thing to say and look at a chair that he once sat in that held the most power and see somebody else making the decisions that he once made. That is a hard thing to overcome psychologically. I would be surprised that he's only on the board in title, but not actually in person. It takes somebody it's a very humbling moment to see that. It's very humbling. Because psychologically, what that suggests is that you were dethroned. And to still be on the team, nah. You need to find a new kingdom to conquer. Because somebody conquered your shit, so you have to conquer somebody else's shit. Or start building your own. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. We all know Trump says that he's not a politician, but he likes to play politics a lot. If you're following what's happening over there in Iran, you can see that he is a full-fledged politician. He's a businessman that practices politics. A lot of people says that he's using mafia style tactics, which I can see where that comes from. Come to the table, negotiate deals on my term, or else you'll find yourself swimming with fishes or sleeping with worms or whatever they like to say. I can see that. I can definitely see that. And the one thing about the ES is that, man, you really don't have a lot of opportunities to get into a good trade. You really only have one opportunity because once it starts to move, it's just hard to get into a position. There was really no good spot outside of this low to get into the ES. And this low happened at around 6 o'clock Central Time. That was the best area to get into this entry. And you would have to have believed, because was my thought process, was that we were still bullish. We were still making higher lows. and that this bearish move, even though it felt scary, even though it felt real, even though it felt like the bears were stepping up and it was the end of the world, that this was just on a higher time frame, just a pullback. And once I just identified that that was just it was highly likely a pullback, I was actually at my desk at about 5 o'clock. I'll analyze the chart and just set my limit. And then when I came back to the chart, I saw that I was in. I almost made the same mistake that I made with gold with ES yesterday. I almost made the same mistake. And the reason why I almost made that same mistake was because I didn't want to miss the move. Just like in gold. I almost got in at this value area low right here. Now, I wouldn't have lost the trade, but just being patient for the better entry, I have a better entry. But the crazy thing is if I actually got in at 22 at this value area low right here, I would have had a full position. So I really don't even know how I should even feel about this, actually. Excuse me. I almost got in at 22, and I would have had a follow-up at 17. So I would have been in this at a full position, and I would have made more money in this move going up. But I got the perfect entry with a half size position, and I still have 15 contracts that I can utilize at some point in time. Honestly, this is a contradiction that internally my ego appreciates that I got a perfect entry because of all the analysis. My analysis was correct. I was patient to allow my analysis to play out, and I'm being rewarded for my analysis. But if I kind of took the FOMO entry, I would have had a full size position. And I would have had more money, but I wouldn't have gotten the perfect entry. That's tough. That's tough right there. That's tough. Mm. That's tough. That is tough. Well, we are coming up to a previous area of resistance. Above these highs, we have buy stops. We got to remember, we have to remember that above these highs, even though the bears were able to knock this thing down, the bears that are in this, the ones that are stubbornly bearish, they're still in this shit. And they're seeing price come back from the lows and coming right back to their entry. And I know bears, and they're gonna keep selling into this. And above these highs, they're gonna generate the buy liquidity for the market to use right now or for Powell to use later. So I'm looking for price to tap into these highs, stop run, probably get to this trend line right here, and then we'll probably see a rejection. It's going to feel like a reversal, but 9 times out of 10, 8 times out of 10 is going to just be a rejection because it's super bullish. Until we get a break of the trend line, the overall trend, until we get a break of that, honestly, I wouldn't even look for shorts or long-term shorts, short-term shorts, maybe, but we got price coming right back in. We got a strong close above this trend, this support trend line. And it does look like I do have this drawn correctly because we are seeing some points. Yeah, so that looks good right there. Yeah, that looks good right there. Yeah, that looks good. We got the pivots right here. We got the the bulls buying it off and then failing and then pushing right back up. We have a candle. We're seeing the bears trying to reject it. I don't know if y'all guys can see that. Yeah, we got a lot of activity around this trend line. So I think that this is the correct trend line. Yeah. All right. So we're seeing a rejection off the trend line, a rejection off the trend line, a rejection. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this trend line looks correct, or at least close enough. Looks close enough. All right. Actually, let me just no. I'm keeping my first target right there. I'm keeping it there. I just want to kind of see in terms of so yeah, it should get there. We should get there. We should. Yeah, we should definitely get there. He says no short, no trade on MES. Yeah, yeah, I wouldn't short ES until well actually I wouldn't short ES at all. I'm getting out of the habit of trading pullbacks. I'm getting out of that habit. That is definitely a Nasdaq habit, but trading pullbacks on ES and gold is very dangerous. You'll only get like a 4 to 5 point pullback when my first target is literally at 6 or 10 or something like that. My first target on ES is a 13 point target. So getting caught up in these pullback trades right here. So 6 to yeah, this was not even a full 10 point. Or actually, I'm okay. Never mind. That was my bad. So yeah, I would have got my target hit on this one. Plus some. Yeah, I would have got my target hit. But I would have only gotten my first target on this leg. I think my second target is at 20 points, I think. So I would have well actually now that I look at it, this is not necessarily it is a pullback, but I mean they sold at resistance here. So it's not like this was like this is kind of like a pullback. This is a rejection. So this will kind of be a pullback to like the EMAs to an area of support. This will be a pullback trade. This will be a rejection from a previous area of support. And I want to make sure that I use the correct terminology when I speak. So I'm no longer looking for the pullbacks. I'll trade a rejection, but I also need to make sure that if I'm going to trade a rejection from an area, that uh, there's enough room for at least to get my first and second target. There needs to be enough room to get those two targets hit. Mm. So are you? So is that the tick chart that you're using? Are you asking me the tick chart that I'm using? Uh, if you're looking at this number right here, what this tells me is how many ticks is left in the candle. Oh, so so I use an 1800 tick chart on Nasdaq and ES. But yeah, if you're looking at this number, this just tells me how many ticks is left in the candle. That's it. So if gold is not shorting, gold made a full recovery. I guess in the overall scheme of things. Yeah, I mean, all that shit is a distraction. It's all that is a distraction. You're just distracting yourself away from that stuff. That's all you're doing. You're just distracting. Mm. Mm. Oof. This does look like it's about to fail here. This does look like it's about to fail. Oh yeah. This does look like it's about to fail. Mm. So I was thinking to myself, these prop firms are. I think all of them now has a daytime stream now. They have a streaming program that every one of them has. Tradeify. I'm still surprised at that. I'm still surprised that well actually let me look at it. Let me look. Now, just because viewers so I'm not saying this because I believe that it means anything. I'm just saying it because out of all the streams that people can choose from, you can kind of gauge which ones that they feel more comfortable being in. And a lot of these streams are now taking away.
There are also people that say I only.
I guess viewership or whatever. So, but my point is that like right now, Tradeify was started off really strong. They had a really strong stream. I think Tradeify is a better stream in my opinion. I feel like it has a lot more substance than MFF. Even though I prefer MFF over Tradeify as a firm based on their payout rules and stuff like that. But my funded futures, a lot more people feel more comfortable being over there at my funded futures than on Tradeify. But then I also understand that a lot of their viewership are coming from their resets and the like free accounts and all that other stuff. I get that too. I get that too. And so as I was thinking about that, and I was like, man, probably tune into one of these streams and get a and try for a free account, get a reset. And then I had to ask myself, man, that's a distraction. I shouldn't have my hand out, you know? There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with getting a free account. There's nothing wrong with getting a free reset. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it. But it's a distraction. And even though I don't like it, I'm just going to have to accept that. Like if I'm joining their stream in order to get a free reset because I was being foolish and gambling, it just becomes another justification to go full port in the account if I get it for free instead of taking accountability that I lost and having to pay to get another one. It's just one of those accountability things. And this is based off of my own experiences. Every time I get a free account, I blow that shit because I didn't earn it. So my initial thought is, oh, it's a free account. Let me go full port and try to pass it in one go. I'll be up $2,000 because I full ported, but I'll miss my target by like a couple of points. It comes back, and because I'm full port and only have $1,200 of drawdown, the account blows. So that's the behaviors that I exhibit. So now I'm just taking myself completely out of that equation. I'm not going to be watching their stream for resets or accounts or whatever the hell they're doing. I'm just going to focus on the accounts that I purchased, and I'm going to move forward like that. But what I probably might start doing actually is I probably might start watching the replay of Ash's portion. And the reason why I'm going to start watching his portion is because I think that he brings the most value to that stream. We have a very similar mindset, and I think it's very important that I surround myself with people that have the same goals, the same mindset as myself, and kind of listening to him on stream will kind of be like having a conversation with him. Traders kind of similar to that. So I'll probably watch some of it. Probably not all of it, but some of it. They have a stream now too? Yeah. I mean, why you say that? You don't think that Ash is a someone to listen to? You say a long? I mean, if they hold, a better long would be at a pullback of the 50 EMA. The 50 EMA is lining up at yesterday's value area low. So I'm not saying take that trade, but if you're gonna FOMO into ES, she will punish you for try chasing her. She don't like being chased. She's that girl on social media that's not going to sit here and cause trouble, but she's not going to allow you to victimize her. You're going to have to wait until she comes to you. You chase her, she'll run the fuck away. And so the futures trading desk has a stream, huh? The futures desk. They have a stream, huh? Huh? Oh, says 60% off. Only 6 hours left. Oh shit. Ah crap. Ah crap. Okay, so we'll listen to this. We'll only listen to a piece of it.
And here we go, Israeli jets streaking through the skies over Iran, hammering military targets, including missile launchers and Iranian nuclear facilities.
This as Iran continues firing missiles into central Israel and now warning if the U.S. gets involved, there'll be, quote, serious, irreparable consequences.
And Mike Tobin is live in Tel Aviv with the latest for us. Good morning, Mike. Good morning, Ainsley. Now, this is a nightly routine, but people here in central Israel were sent running for the bomb shelters in the middle of the night with more Iranian ballistic missile attacks. Two attacks came just after midnight local time. The IDF says some 30 launches of missiles were detected. The missile defense systems did their job. We heard multiple explosions in the sky over Tel Aviv. The IDF says that several missiles did get through, resulting in damage but no injury. Remarkable video from the sky over Jerusalem as a ballistic missile re-enters the atmosphere, creating a fireball in the sky. The IDF says no injuries as a result of that missile either. The IDF confirms one of the drones is down. Iran claims to have shot it down. Israel says no one was hurt, and the wreckage of the drone will not provide an information breach to the Iranians. Iran's supreme leader sent a message over Iranian TV. He refused President Trump's demand for unconditional surrender and threatened irreparable consequences if the U.S. gets directly involved. That was a threat echoed by a top Iranian diplomat.
Okay. Very interesting. Very interesting.
The unicorn.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Well. Yeah, it is. I mean, we talked about this. The United States will always back Israel. Israel is the United States' most valuable asset there in the Middle East. It's where all United States, both official and unofficial, starts is there in Israel. That's why when the protests against Israel first started, that's why you saw the media, even the liberal media, wasn't necessarily reporting negatively about it because they weren't allowed to. They weren't allowed to. Hopefully this doesn't turn into a nuclear war. Obviously, that would be devastating for everybody. And what is it called? The fallout. Okay, there I was like, the word was at the tip of my tongue. The fallout can last for years. So nobody wants a nuclear war, but we all know how humans are when they have a big red button in front of them and they're being emotionally driven. And they try to justify their actions. And I'm not talking about anybody specifically. I'm just talking about people in general. Us humans, we like to justify our destructive actions through the acts of our gods. That tends to be a tendency. The most evilest people will be your most religious. Your cult leaders will filter all of their actions through a belief in their God and saying that this is an action of divine will through the God that we all collectively worship. Every act of evil is in the name of God, in the name of someone's God. And that's a behavior that humans have consistently used throughout history, which seems to be in every culture. It seems like we can have different beliefs, but we all tend to do the same thing, as interesting as that is. I think the United States, I believe, because Israel doesn't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon, that's why they're not allowed to have one, because it's in the best interest of Israel for them to not have one. And it's going to be interesting, the chess moves and the mental mind games that that these power states, that these governments will try to play, because if Israel tries to invade Iran, the same propaganda, if that's the word you want to use, that they used when Russia did it to what is it called, Ukraine, because Russia claimed that it was of Russia's best interest and the safety of its people that it needed to invade Ukraine to prevent the United States preventing it from joining NATO, preventing from United States or bases operated officially by the United States. And that word officially needs to be emphasized, because we all know that there can be unofficial bases anywhere, but just having an official base there is a threat to Russia's sovereignty. And so they attacked. And if Israel chooses to use the same claim, then that same rhetoric can be said about Israel, and public opinion can shift quite easily. So we'll see what kind of mental mind games that they'll play, and justifying actions that need to be taken. We'll see. We're already seeing a lot of protests, and as it should. I mean, people shouldn't be killing each other, but unfortunately, that's what us humans like to do, apparently, is harm each other for whatever reason. We like to kill members of other tribes. And I guess it makes sense. I mean, if another tribe is competing for resources that you need for your tribe to survive, well, that other tribe has to go. It's as simple as that. They got to go. And we'll just justify our actions through our God or our belief system or whatever the hell we're going to justify our evil actions for. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully it doesn't need to escalate. Hopefully we don't wake up one day and the United States find themselves in a war back in the Middle East after we just left. Hopefully we don't need to send American soldiers and have American or anybody die in a war. Hopefully. Mm. Yeah. Yeah, young millionaire, kind of going back to your question. That's exactly what I've discovered, and that's why I'm just moving away from trading the Nasdaq, because I do exactly that. I just create situations in my head, because you just don't know when the Nasdaq is going to trade structurally or when she's just going to keep going. There is a limit on gold and ES per se. If the market does continue, it doesn't just, keep going like the Nasdaq does. It's going to chop its way. It's going to do the same thing ultimately, but it's going to chop its way to the finish line if it's just going to keep going. And usually we see price action like this after a whole block of price action. So we got price sweeping highs, sweeping lows, sweeping highs again, and then sweeping lows. It just seems like price just makes this, I guess, quote unquote, triangle. And all price is doing is expanding and rotating around this triangle. That's all price does on ES and gold. So, I mean, if you have these triangles, these chart geometry drawn on your chart correctly, then you'll be able to see it. But the Nasdaq, man, she does trade structurally. I'm not saying she doesn't, but she's just so erratic. She will trade through support and then come back up and then bounce or reject at a level that she's supposed to, or she'll reject or bounce at a level that she was supposed to bounce at the first time before running through the shit. And just because with all that uncertainty on top of, she can have like a 100-point rejection and then 100-point pullback. I mean, shit, all you need is 50 points on the Nasdaq. So it's like you have all that in your mind, and then it's so easy to say, you know what, if I can just get 25, 50, 75 points on this pullback or this break of structure higher. I mean, that's all I need. And then slowly but surely, you'll find yourself being up those 50 points, up those 70 points, and thinking, man, this shit can go higher. And then most likely you don't want to take profits because it's showing so much momentum to one side. And then after she gets everybody caught up, those that didn't take profits, she takes them to the slaughterhouse. She takes those traders to the slaughterhouse. And we already know that once you saw that you was up 50, 70 points, and now price is back down at your break even and it goes below it, what do we normally would do in a situation like that? Average in until the next thing you know, you're averaged in 20 million contracts and your P&L is down about 50, 70%. So I might have already got limited into this position. I haven't got it yet. It does look like the bears are going to fail here, though. It does look that way. Yeah. I think at this point, we'll probably see a big slowdown in all markets. No, I'm already in this trade already. I'm not going to add to this position at all. If you're asking if I would go long at VWAP, honestly, it doesn't seem like it's a bad idea to go long at VWAP in the 200 EMA. Actually, let me look at that. Because usually, let me see. Let me look at a long example. If VWAP is underneath the 200 EMA, then we usually see price continue in that direction. In this situation, though, VWAP is above the 200 EMA. I don't know if that's a clue right there. Don't know. And I think this is a weekly VWAP, or no, this is a session VWAP. This is the session VWAP. Actually, no. Okay, never mind. I take that back. VWAP is under the 200 EMA, so that does look like that could be an area to enter in if we do see a pullback into this area. It will be the value area low here. You have a strong move in one direction from this area. You could see a pullback. That can be a decent area right there if you see a pullback. But if it continues to go higher and we never see that pullback, I wouldn't trust it. I wouldn't trust this level as it's coming down, if that makes sense. So if we can get a pullback from here, then a VWAP entry would probably be about a 60% chance. I'll be confident at like 60% confident in that trade being successful. About 60%. Because we're still uptrending. Everything is still bullish. We do have somewhat of a trend right there. It would kind of line up to that right there. That would line up. All right, so let's see. All right. So we got two potential trend areas and we got a triangle right here. You got a triangle right here. And usually this little space is usually the battleground for the bulls and the bears. It's usually this right here is usually the battleground. Is this space right here. Because not only the bears would have to break through this trend line and take and dominate and control this space, they would also have to break that trend line as well. So you got trend line support, you have VWAP 200 EMA support, you have an area where they broke out at. I'll actually, now that I think about it, that's probably like an 70% confidence that that trade will work out. I mean, Trump could just say anything and it'll break through. So Santiago says, so if it bounces, you think about 662? 662? Yeah. I mean, it will line up with this trend line right here. And I know that this trend line is drawn correctly because we're seeing the market react at this trend line. We got the market reacting here, and then we got the market reacting at this pullback right here. We got the market also, the bears tried to reject off this trend line as well. And then they got their stops ran and they pulled right back to that trend line, and we've seen that move higher. So this right here, I wouldn't take this trade, but we could see this thing continue to trend. If you are going to take this trade, if you take this trade, which I wouldn't recommend, maybe a 2 to 3 point stop. But then honestly, I would kind of wait for the confirmation. I kind of want to see what they do here. If they kind of have like a pin, a bullish pin at that trend line, then maybe. But I don't like how the EMAs are now sloping. I don't like that. The short and medium term EMAs are starting to flatten out. And they're starting to curve. And I don't like that. So we'll see what happens. If we can see a green bullish pin, then maybe we can see a continuation. This will actually be an omitted trade. This would fall below my 50% confidence level. I wouldn't feel this is a 50-50 trade. I feel like this is probably more of a 35-40% trade right here. So due to my trade policy, I would omit this trade. I feel the same way too, young millionaire. Yeah, so yeah, I definitely agree with that, Santiago, for sure. I definitely agree with that. So we'll see what happens at this trend line. I know it's drawn correctly, so we'll see what happens. Oh crap! You know what? Shit. I think all right. So I got the failure on gold. So I got this. Okay, so again, this is why I really enjoy trading gold. This trade might not even work, honestly. Now that I'm kind of looking at it, but we got the buyers failing right there. They got their stops ran, but for whatever reason, they said, fuck that. I guess it is FOMC. I guess. I think the bulls are just going to buy their dips. It's like, shit, you ran my stops. I'm just going to buy it right back up. So the idea was correct, but it does look like, unfortunately, I'm going to probably get stopped out of this one. It does appear that way. We'll see. Yeah. That 21 EMA is a powerful EMA, man. It's very powerful. It's very powerful. A lot of your big money traders, now it's 10 million ways to skin a cat, as they say, right? But there's also many ways to make money in this market. But if we're just going along for the ride of the people that actually move this market, your quants, your quantitative hedge funds, they're using these EMAs. They're using mathematical levels to take their trades. I was on the treadmill this morning. I was actually kind of just thinking about this stuff, and there may have been a time where, or actually, there was a time where price was dictated by how people felt about something. When traders were in the pit and shouting and stuff like that, that's when price was dictated by human emotion. Nowadays, human emotion is used to facilitate trade. I think that's a very powerful statement. I need to write that down. Let me write that down before I forget. Let me write that down before I forget. Human emotion now facilitates trades. Your human emotions are being used against you with my mathematical equations and these bots that execute perfectly at these mathematical levels that is almost pre-drawn based, because obviously these mathematical equations are being calculated on how far away from a starting point price has gone. So it needs to pull back a certain amount to rebalance an area. And once you start thinking of the market in a more quantitative mindset, or with a more quantitative mindset, you'll find more success. And I say that because one of my biggest challenges that I need to overcome is that I will move away from a quantitative mindset when trading to a more emotional, to a more human. It feels more human to trade this way. And I had to remind myself that there's not enough humans in this game anymore. We're not saying that the market, all market makers are bots, but majority of them are. You'll probably still have maybe your market maker with years, 20 million years of experience still doing this thing, but bots are more efficient. Bots are especially people that have clients that they answer to and they have to make a certain percentage per month. Why would you have humans do it and you have to deal with what they go through when you can have a bot do it and they do it consistently? And bots allow themselves to get stopped out. They're not going to move their stop. If anything, they're going to aggressively get out of a losing position, depending on how aggressive the bot is programmed. There are, from the bots that I've seen, as soon as they're getting into a position, that stop is trailing until it hits target. They're not even giving it time to come back and take a losing trade if it doesn't have to. And these trades are heavy size with short targets, and the price is being trailed as it goes in the direction that it's trading in. So, yeah. Mm. Did we get some action on ES? All right, let's see. We'll see what happens here, man. We'll see what happens. Like I said, this is a 40% trade. I'm not taking this. It's below 50. So I guess moving forward, a terminology that I'm just going to use is that is below 50. I don't need to be exact. As long as it's below 50, it's outside of my trade policy. I'm not going to take the trade. So that's the terminology I'm going to use moving forward. Man, look at the bears though. I mean, look at that candle. Look at the psychology of that candle right there. That candle right there. Look at the bears. They're like, I mean, we're below the trend line. I mean, should we do it? I mean, we actually got below the, like, look how timid this candle is. If I'm a bear, I would feel the same way because the Nasdaq and the ES has just been clapping bears. You can't get no pullback, you can't get no rejection, you can't get any reversal. All dips are bought. The bears are being very timid on getting really aggressive, even though technically they broke this trend line. Yeah, shit. It looks like this thing's about to pop right back above that trend line. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, if I'm a bear, I would have taken profits at that trend line, honestly, if I caught this top right here. But we do have the EMAs now sloping, and the market can use these EMAs for rejection. But with VWAP and the 200 EMA at an area of support at this rising trend line, this support trend line right here, you got this value area low. This is almost an 80% confident that this thing will work. And we'll probably get price to bounce and probably test the bottom of this trend line. And that's going to be the determination for the bulls if they can break back above this trend line. And we'll probably see the stop run higher. Or if the bears can take control of this space and they break through this, then we'll see a move back down. So when I see triangles, the first thing that comes to mind is that this space right here is just going to be a battleground between the bulls and the bears. And whoever wins in this space, that's the direction that the market is going to go, because there's liquidity on both sides now. You got buy stops on this side and you have sell stops on this side. So whoever gets to the stops first, that's who wins. And the last thing we're going to talk about before we get off is that's exactly what happened yesterday. That's exactly what happened yesterday. I may have deleted that triangle, but we had this support line, and then we had an other support line as well before the market broke down. Forgot. Let me see where it's at. We had a triangle yesterday. Where the hell was it at? Yeah, I think that was it right there. I think that was it. Yeah, because we had a triangle yesterday. I don't think that was it. No. Yeah, I think this was it. It was something like this. I think it was, yeah, like right there. Yeah, okay, there was a triangle right there. Because the bears had to, because the bulls were pushing up. I don't think that was it though. I might be looking at this wrong. Anyway, there was a triangle right here, and the bears had to break through both of the triangles to get this short, because I remember talking about it, and I remember saying that, or I recall saying that the bears have a lot of work against. They have a lot of work. They had to break two trend lines to be successful, and I gave it a low probability rate, and I was wrong because they straight up broke through it. And all those stops underneath this trend line was used to move this market lower. So we're in the same situation. Now we can potentially see the bears use this as resistance, but they are hesitating at this trend line though, because they already know and that all it takes is a bullish engulfing candle, and it's back to bull city. So very interesting. But all right, guys, that's it for me. I got to get into this meeting. We'll definitely come back later on today. I may be able to trade Powell today. I may be able to do so. Yeah, I'll probably trade Powell today for sure. But we'll come back, and we'll definitely look for more opportunities to earn some more money. And with that said, peace out, everybody.